All right, so the National Basketball Association has decided to suspend their entire season after learning of Rudy Golbert, Utah Jazz center, testing positive for this pandemic virus. And, their initial response to this virus spreading was to have games without crowds, just have games on TV. But that's not enough. An actual player has the virus now. We have seen concerts canceled, music festivals, big conferences just totally wiped out. A lot of big economic events wiped out. A lot of money lost over this whole pandemic. And that is telling to me because things are real when people put money in the burner for it. If people are going to throw away money to prevent something from happening, then there is a high likelihood of that happening. If they thought this was not a real issue, they would not be doing this. And I'm an NBA fan. It's going to suck to not have basketball played, but I think it's for the best. My big first reaction would be what happens to local economies that rely on NBA teams coming in, the fans coming in and buying food around the stadiums, inside the stadiums, the workers there. The White House is rolling out plans to deal with workers who cannot work because of any coronavirus response, which is good, socialism, but I'm happy it's happening regardless. And, Donald Trump is going to use socialism to fix this after saying socialism's bad, so make sure we pound that point. But for the NBA, they were originally going to have no crowds, and March Madness for NCAA basketball, they announced earlier today that they would have no crowds at their games either. I'm not sure what they're going to do now. The NBA is a leader in this. They are obviously carrying a lot of influence over a lot of economic sectors in general. It's a big corporation. They make a lot of money. They have a lot of influence and control. So after they do this, expect the NCAA to make a big shift. And March Madness, a lot of money is involved in that. So if that happens, we're in some real stuff right now. So Rudy Gobert tested positive for it. There's probably more. Tom Hanks, another celebrity, has tested positive for it. So we have a lot of people having issues. Aside from corporations, there are many academic institutions as well getting their students off of campus, whether it be community college, state college, trade schools, or anything. They're canceling classes, using online schooling now so that there is less mixing. Colleges are a big point where people are going to be coming from other countries, international students. There are students here studying abroad who are also coming back for the second semester. So there is a lot of, chance on college campuses for a widespread incubation of the coronavirus. It takes a while to actually pop up, a couple days. So people may be transferring it without even knowing it, which is why it's such a big issue. It spreads very rapidly. Our health system is not ready to handle a big influx of people. And I know people are comparing the coronavirus to the flu, but you don't have an entire society getting flu at the same time. Plus, coronavirus does have a much higher death rate. But when you talk about the health system, the reason Italy had to shut down is not because of the virus itself. It's because so many people had to go to the doctor, their health system could not handle it. So if there's other people that need care as well for other life-threatening issues, they might not get care. So they had to shut down the entire country so that they could handle the overload pressure. The United States has a for-profit healthcare system, the worst healthcare system among developed countries in the entire world for dealing with a pandemic. And we're kind of scrambling right now to try to make up for it. But this is why it's such a big issue, because if it spreads too much, people can't work, people can't go to school, people can't go purchase products, people freak out, people clear out stores, people are buying toilet paper and all that stuff, freaking out. And the entire societal and economic collapse is what we're really watching out for. But even aside from that, the death rate of coronavirus is around 34 times higher than the flu that we know right now. And I saw a lot of charts on social media of a bunch of geniuses saying that the flu and coronavirus are pretty much the same thing. And they showed how many flu deaths we have per year and compared it to the coronavirus. And I'll tell you what, if we took the death rate for the coronavirus and matched it up to the flu, and we had that many cases, 40,000 people die right now from the flu. If the flu had the same death rate as the coronavirus, instead of 40,000 people dying, guess how many would die? 2.2 million people would die instead of just 40,000. So say everyone in our country got it. The experts are predicting that at least 60 to 70 million of our people are going to contract this. Maybe even 50% of our population are going to contract it. When that happens, there's a chance millions and millions of people die. And it's a pretty likely chance that they do, depending on who gets it, young or old. And that's what we're facing right now. It is a big issue. Maybe not straightforward from the virus. It's not Ebola. It's not going to kill you right away. But on the grand scale and the entire picture, this is a huge deal. It needs to be contained before it spreads too much, because not only is it more deadly than the flu, but it spreads very fast, and again, it could collapse our entire system.